A full body chakra flow can help you tap into inspiration and insight. Join me today on the mat with one block to tap into your energy centers. We'll begin today standing at the tops of our mats, feet about hip-width distance apart in Tadasana. Allow your palms to shine forward, your shoulders maybe to roll a few times as you loosen through your heart space, your heart chakra. And then I invite you to settle into stillness, really push into the soles of your feet, right into your heels, the ball of your baby toes, and the balls of your big toes. As you do so, spread your toes wide and then lift up on the inner arches of your feet. You may feel this all the way up your inner thighs to your pelvic floor, your root chakra. And perhaps here you close down your eyes or bring a gentle, soft gaze. Continue to pull this energy up from the base of your feet as you gently guide your belly button in and up. Rib cage lifts up and away from hip bones. Heart lifts. Maybe you ever so slightly tuck your chin so that you lengthen through the back of your neck. As finally, crown of head reaches up towards the sky. And you are perhaps the tallest you have ever stood. Secure. Stable. Invite your breath to deepen as you inhale, fully breathe into your torso, sending your shoulders and hip bones all away from each other. Exhale to let it out. Inhale like you're filling your lungs to their fullest capacity. Two more. Maybe you bring a gentle constriction to your throat. Inhale. Exhale, almost like you sound like Darth Vader. Hands on your hips. Point your toes in slightly so you're a bit pigeon toe. Maybe you need to separate your feet a little bit more. But as you inhale, bend into your knees like you're trying to push your thighs together. Exhale, imagine something pulling you through the crown of your head as you push even more firmly into your feet, like you're trying to straighten your legs. Inhale, bit of a releasing sensation as you bend into the knees. Keep the torso long. Exhale, like you're trying to push into the ground, moving into the soil of the earth. Two more. Inhale, like you let go. You're letting yourself sink. Exhale, now you're really forcing yourself in. Waking up the legs. Deep inhale. And exhale. Feet come back to about hip-width distance apart. Big bend into your knees as your arms come long. Sweep by the edges of your feet forward and up right away. Fierce pose, otherwise known as chair pose, but I like fierce. Pull the rib cage in, knit it together, and imagine your tailbone and crown of the head reaching far away from each other. Always option for hands to hips or hands to heart center. You choose the intensity for your arms today. Maybe you sit back a little bit deeper into the imaginary chair behind you and peek down at your toes. Make sure you can see them. Perhaps you spread them wide once more. Root into the foundation of your mat. Inhale, strain legs, reach fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, cactus arms, find 90-degree angles. Imagine there's a string on your heart. It pulls you up towards the sky. If you're a booty popper, guide your tailbone to point towards the mat and then lift from the heart. Chin may lift. Perhaps arms gently pull back in space. Inhale, reach fingertips to sky. Exhale, fold forward, bend in your knees as you drape over your lower body. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, fully melt over your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up towards the sky. Palms come to touch above your head as you pull the base of your hands in towards your third eye. Maybe you pause here for a beat, resting with this connection, this area of intuition, divine guidance. And on your next exhale, guide your hands down to your heart center, a place of gratitude, love. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, arms fall by your sides as you shift your weight over into your left foot. Hug your right knee in towards your chest, flex into right foot. Stand tall, push into that foundation of your left foot, heel, little ball, big ball. Inhale here. Exhale, lightly take a big step back with your right toes. Sweep your arms up towards the sky. High crescent lunge. Inhale, fingertips reach towards the sky. Ribs move up and away from the hips. Exhale, cactus arms. That heartstring pulls your chest open. Almost like there's also someone gently guiding your elbows away from each other. Inhale, fingertips back to sky, high crescent lunge. Really plug the left hip back in space. Then drop your right back heel so that you come to open into goddess, cactus arms. Inhale, straighten into your legs, reach towards the sky. Exhale, bend into legs, bend into arms. Once more. Inhale, reach, push into the foundation of the feet, heart lifts. Exhale, bend, sink into the mat. Inhale, fingertips reach to sky. Right toes point towards the long edge of your mat. Left toes forward as your arms come parallel with the ground. Send your right hip back, your left fingertips forward, and your palms towards the long edge of the mat as you tilt into triangle. Always the option here to use a block underneath your left hand as you reach right fingertips up towards the sky. Tuck your left hip underneath your right, like you're trying to stack right hip over left. Imagine you're between two panes of glass. You're trying to get as flat here as possible. Big inhale. Exhale, look towards the ground. Right hand comes onto the mat. Right back toes come high onto them as you reach left fingertips towards the sky. Easy twist. Imagine there's a wall behind you. You fall back into it for one inhale. Exhale, place left hand on the mat. Step your left foot back. Downward facing dog. Big bend into the knees. Heart is guided towards your thighs, ribs knit in. And just like we did with our feet, instead of lifting your arches, lift your palms so you create a suction cup with your hands. Really activate through the ground here and your connection to it. Inhale, right toes up and back. Exhale, right heel to glute, and then come to stack your right hip on left. Your right knee is highest. Maybe you take a peek over your right bicep and you can give your foot a little bit of a wave to you. Really allow this leg to fall towards the left. Deep inhale. Exhale, knee towards your right shoulder. As shoulders shift over wrists and plant your right foot on the mat. Then take a big step forward with your left foot as well to outside of left hand and drop your sit bones towards the mat, hands to prayer, Malasana. If Malasana is a no-go for you, you can always come into a squat, or you can use a block underneath your sit bones as well. Whichever option you choose, we're staying here for 2 breaths. Continue to reach tailbone and crown of head away from each other. Find space between each vertebra in your spine, like you're being pulled in opposite directions. Exhale, place your hands on the mat, send your sit bones towards the sky. Walk your feet to about hip width distance apart as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drape forward. Inhale, reach your fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, cactus arms, reach your heart towards the sky. Arms pull back gently, micro bend in your knees. Inhale, fingertips reach up. Exhale, palms come to touch. Pull the energy in as you draw the base of your hands down to your third eye, and then all the way down to your heart space. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, weight shifts into right foot. Left knee draws in with a flexed foot. As you interlace your hands around your shin, pull yourself a little bit taller. Big inhale. Exhale, float your right toes back to a high crescent lunge. Fingertips move all the way up towards the sky. Pull everything into the midline. Imagine you're hugging something between your thighs as fingertips get light. Exhale, open heart to sky, cactus arms. Inhale, fingertips back to sky. Exhale, drop left back heel, cactus arms, wide legs into goddess pose. Inhale to reach towards the sky, pull everything in. Exhale, think of expanding, taking up space, moving down and out. Once more. Inhale to reach back up. This time, right toes towards the top of your mat. Left foot parallel with the back edge. Triangle pose. Left hip sticks back. Right hands to inner right calf or block. Imagine you're flat between those panes of glass. And you can always bring your left hand to your hip if that feels better for you today too. Lift through the inner arches. Feel that sensation move all the way up your inner thighs. Pelvic floor pulling into your core. Last inhale here. Exhale, look to the ground. Left hand to the mat. Right fingertips reach up towards the sky, easy twist. Exhale, place your right hand on the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes up and back to the sky. Exhale, heel to glute, knee to sky. Then allow yourself, your torso to begin to twist as you look over top of your right bicep. Maybe you see your toes. Inhale, pull the knee in as shoulders shift over wrists. And step your left foot to the outside of left hand, right foot to the outside of right hand as you settle down into Malasana or your variation of the squat. Hands to heart. Notice if you hunch forward at all here. We've opened the heart enough to help you know what that sensation feels like. Keep that lift, the pull of the heartstring up, even as you sit here in Malasana. Release your hands down to the mat. Send your sit bones up high to the sky. Forward fold, feet about hip width distance apart. Big bend into knees as your fingertips brush the floor. Set your sit bones closer towards the ground, fierce pose. Everything pulls into the midline. Imagine there's a block between your thighs that you're squeezing, yet knees stay in line with ankles. Fingertips reach forward and up. Maybe you lift your chest a little bit higher. Inhale, fingertips reach all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come to land on your lower back, like you're about to slide your hands into the pockets on jeans. Guide your elbows together. Lift the heart, the string pulls up. Tailbone points towards the mat. Really squeeze in the glutes as you continue to lean back. Heart begins to lift. Maybe chin leans back as well, standing camel. Keeping your glutes tight will help protect your low back here. And on your next inhale, heart lifts all the way up and then forward. Inhale, fingertips sweep towards the sky. Exhale, dive forward. Lead with your heart as you melt forward. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Maybe you stick out your tongue and do lion's breath. Deep inhale. Tongue out as you exhale. Wakes up the throat chakra. Inhale, ripple your body forward so you come into a plank, starting at the tailbone, moving through the mid-back. Really press through the upper back, right between your shoulder blades. Eventually, shoulders land over wrists, and hips come in line with shoulders and ankles. Continue to drop your hip flexors towards the mat. Chest shines forward, maybe chin lifts as you look to the sky. Exhale, chin into chest first. Lift your sit bones up and back. Downward facing dog. Once more at your own pace. Inhale to rip onto plank. Exhale, upward facing dog on toes. Exhale, pull everything back into the midline. Downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward, land your knees on the mat. Child's pose, option for toes to touch, knees wide. Legs can be together. You can always use a block underneath your forehead, especially if you'd like to draw some attention to your third eye here. Let your sit bones sink heavy towards your heels and anchor is attached to your tailbone, pulling you a touch closer to the ground. Your arms can drape long by your sides, or maybe you guide them into a diamond shape. Fingertips come to touch, elbows wide to loosen into the back of your heart space. Begin to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Your legs come to about hip width distance apart. Lift your sit bones off your heels so you're coming to stand on your knees. Hands once more come to your low back like you're about to slide them into the jean pockets. Elbows pull in so tight it almost forces you to puff your chest out. Option here as we move into camel for feet to be flat, though I recommend you start up with your toes tucked. Tailbone points down, crown of head and heart lift. Think of puffing the chest up first before you start leaning back into camel. Keep guiding tailbone towards the floor. Maybe you reach back and hold on to one heel, maybe both. Maybe your hands stay on your low back. Shine chest up to sky. Chin may drop all the way back or come and stay closer into your chest. Your choice. Press the front of your hip flexors forward. 2 more breaths here. And as you inhale, hands first come back to low back. Really reach crown of the head all the way up. Restack each vertebra of the spine. Untuck your toes, set your sit bones back. Curl your chin in towards your chest as you slowly reverse roll yourself all the way down. Crown of head comes to rest on the mat. With your hands, grab hold of the backs of your calves or your heels. Press the crown of your head into the mat. And then lift your sit bones into rabbit. Counter pose for camel. Last inhale. And exhale, heels move back towards your heels. Upper body curls up. And I ask you here to tap into your intuition, to really notice what your body's craving in this moment for your final resting pose. Perhaps it's still here in Thunderbolt, maybe hands come to the body. Perhaps you come to sit cross-legged in meditation pose. Maybe it's coming all the way down into Shavasana. Choose what your body is asking for today. Not necessarily your mind, but what in your core your body says, oh yes, that feels so good. And then once you get into that pose, get out any final wiggles and let yourself come to fully rest in the pose. Whichever variation you're in, the earth has got you. You are supported, you are safe. Your mind is allowed to wander if it wants to. But if you notice it guiding you to places you don't want to be right now, come back to this moment and the current sensations that you feel. For our final bit of time in peace and silence. Allow your breath to deepen as it reawakes your body from its short slumber. Bring movement into your fingers or your toes, maybe into your ankles and your wrists. And regardless of where you're at, reach your fingertips up above your head. Take a big stretch. And exhale to let it go. If in Shavasana, knees come in towards your chest as you roll to your right hand side. Take your time. We'll all meet in a comfortable seat if you're not there yet. Hands come into prayer at your heart center. And bow your head so your third eye meets your fingertips. Thank yourself for showing up on the mat today, for doing this act of self-love for your mind, body, and your soul. Lift your head back up. May you feel kind words. May you speak kind words. May you think kind words. Together, we bow forward and say thank you. I hope you were feeling open and alive. Comment down below and let me know which chakra feels the most alive right now. Until next time, have a wonderful day.